All right, so we're talking about increasing and decreasing. So when you're increasing and decreasing, you want to find your max and or min. So in the first problem here, we have a maximum. Do we agree? This is a maximum, and we have a maximum at 2, 4. All right. When you are identifying your intervals of increasing, decrease, what's most important is your x value. Okay. X tells you where you're at, where it's happening. X marks the spot. Okay. That's what you're looking at, is the x value. Okay. We read a graph from left to right. So from left to right, this function is doing what? It's increasing all the way up until I get here, right? And then once I get here, what does it do? Decrease. So when we're describing these intervals of increase and decrease, we got to remember all the way to the left. If I'm going forever to the left, that's negative infinity. If I'm going all the way to the right, that is positive infinity. Does that make sense? So when I'm looking at my increase, I'm increasing all the way from the left. So therefore, it starts at negative. That's a horrible infinity symbol. Who drew that? I didn't need your comments. I didn't need your additional comments. I've already said it was horrible. It was meant to be an infinity symbol that you never saw. I fixed it. All right. So we start at negative infinity and we're increasing all the way up until x equals 2. Do we see that? So that's where we stop increasing. Yeah? With me? Okay. And then there we go. Our decreasing starts where? At 2, and it goes on forever. And what's forever to the right? Infinity. So we start at 2 and we end at positive infinities on the right. Negative infinities on the left. Positive infinity is on the...
That seems so backwards.
No, it's not.
That seems so backwards.
Why is that? No, you're not looking at... Okay. You're looking at your x values, not your y values. You're saying, what are your y values doing, but where are they doing it at? So our x values are going down to the left. Our x values are going up to the right. That's why it's negative is to the left and positive is to the right. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause. I want y'all to do some thinking and I want y'all to try the second one. Okay. So again, identify whether you have a max or a min, and then read the graph from left to right. Where are you increasing and decreasing? Okay, let's check and see what you did. So this time you had a minimum, right? We have a minimum down here at -2, -5. Which value is the most important here? -2. From left to right, what's happening? Oh, that my pen is doing weird things. I don't know. My pen wanted to do some squiggles instead of a straight line. So we're decreasing. Okay. And then we are increasing. So my interval of increase starts where? It starts at -2 and then it goes forever to the right. And what's forever to the right? Infinity. Positive infinity. Okay.
Okay, that I was confused.
Where does my decrease start? Negative infinity, because it starts for... Oh, that's all. That's not good at all. It's a different graph.
Oh, so what's the
And so that's why, again, it's all about reading from left to right. So I'm decreasing on the left side now. I'm not increasing. I'm going down. Okay, so from negative infinity to -2, how do we feel? Most of the way there, okay. All right, so before we move on, I want to let you know that these can be written in other forms, okay? If I'm saying from negative infinity to 2, that means I'm also saying that x is less than 2. Does that make sense? If I'm saying 2 to infinity, I'm saying that x is greater than 2.
Oh. So,
No, you can't be equal to when you're increasing or decreasing.
so I'm guessing the infinity is the end.
It's defining your x at all times.
No, I'm saying like if you do like the little.
No, x is just saying your x values are forever bigger than 2. Your x values are forever smaller than 2. Okay, so in this case, -2 to infinity is saying x is greater than -2. And when you think about it, look at how the arrow's pointing. The arrow's pointing to the right? To the -2. It's pointing to the right. So to the right of -2, it is doing what? Increasing. To the left of -2, what is it doing?
Decreasing.
Decreasing. Do we see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now last one. This is a polynomial. It's because I have multiple of maxes and mins. Does that make sense? So in this one, I have a max and a min, which means that I'm gonna have to identify all of those intervals. So first here, we have a maximum here at x equals -1.225. We have a minimum here at x equals +1.225. Yes. So that's on my table back there. All right. So again, we read the graph from left to right. So from left to right, what are we doing? Increasing, then we are. And then we are. Okay. So we've identified where we're increasing, decreasing, and increasing. Now we're going to write it out. So I increase starting here. If I'm going forever to the left, that's called what? Negative infinity. And I increase all the way up until this x value. And what is that x value? Two. So -1 and 225 thousandths.
Why is it?
Oh, that's all.
Okay. And then where do I increase at? My other increase starts where? It starts at 1.225 and it goes forever to the right. So it goes to positive infinity. Do we see that? So I had 2 intervals of increasing. Yes?
Yeah.
All right. Where is my decreasing happening? Where does it start? Okay. And then where does it end? It ends at +1.225. So this decrease has a starting and a stopping point, ending point, right?
Oh.
It doesn't go forever. So we don't write infinity.
Okay, I get it. I have flow.
Okay. So in the case of this on an interval, it would be x is between this, right? So x is happening between -1.225 and +1 and 225 thousandths. Okay, it's happening in between. Does that make sense? All right. How do we feel about intervals of increase and decrease?
And
Yes.
So on the second example,
Uh-huh.
I was trying to think, friend, like, why do you put the negative super on that one since like there's no reason left right things and you.
Because from left to right, I start at -2 and I go to infinity.
But for the decreasing one.
From the decreasing, I started at negative infinity and I'm heading towards the -2.
Oh.
I'm starting at negative infinity and I'm heading towards -2. Okay. Your interval, remember, is you're starting and you're ending, starting and you're ending. All right, that's increasing and decreasing from a graph. How do we feel? Okay. Not bad, not terrible. Cool, we'll take it.